Hello and welcome to PTAEZ How to Upload Rosters. The parts of the PTAEZ system we will be discussing today are some of the free features of the program. They are available whether you have the paid version of the program or not and are required by California State PTA. These include the officer reporting system and how to generate a report using bulk emails. The Officer Contact System. All PTAs, unit, council, district, even state, must upload their roster into the Officer Contact System immediately following their annual election. The president is mandatory and is supposed to be in the system before May 1st. After that, the state office will start contacting the school's principals if they are a unit, seeking the information. The outgoing board should attempt to put in as much information about the new board as possible so that additional officers can receive info over the summer from their counterparts at council or district. As a unit leader, you only have access to your specific PTA, which is listed as My Organization up at the top. The sample in the picture has additional tabs because it is for a district level administrator. To upload your officers, click on the button at the bottom that says Add Officer. Step 1. This is what pops up when you've clicked the Add Officer button on the previous page. Step 2. Select a position from the drop-down menu. Vice President is a title, not a position. You need to find a position that best matches the Vice President's job description from your bylaws. Step 3 is where you add the person's name. If they have been on your board before, typing their name will bring it up and you can select them. This is also where you can add the term Vice President if necessary. At this point, you can either click Save or Change Contact Info. Double check that you have the correct name in the correct order. Sometimes they get switched, especially if you find them in the drop-down menu of prior officers. At the top, switch to the address info. Include as much info as possible, especially emails and phone numbers. The president must provide you with a mailing address. It should not be the school's address if it is at all humanly possible. There are things that get mailed to the president over the summer, and if you use the school's address, they will not get them until the school reopens in the fall. The email address for this section should be the correct email for how they want to be contacted. This is important when we get to creating logins. Click Save at the bottom, and they will be added to the roster. If someone is doing a second year in a position, you can click on the current school year, then click on the person's name, and then at the top, click on the button that says Copy Selected To, and then add the new school year from the drop-down menu. This will automatically move them from their current position in this year's board to the same position in next year's board. On the right-hand side of the screen are a series of icons. We'll be discussing those in the next set of slides. To correct a current officer's name or address, you're going to click on the little I inside of a circle on that first page. Check the name and then switch to address info up at the top. Again, include as much info as possible, especially emails and phone numbers. Once again, the email address in this section should be the correct email for how they want to be contacted. Click Save and the roster will update. If for some reason you have to change an officer mid-year, you'll be clicking on the square with the pencil in it. You'll be changing the name in the correct field where it says name, and then click on Change Contact Info. Include as much information as possible, especially emails and phone numbers. Again, make sure that the correct email for how they want to be contacted is included in the Change Contact Info fields. Click Save and the roster will update. You will need to create logins in order for people to be able to get into PTAEZ and pull up reports that they might need. In order to do that, you click on the icon of the little person. Depending on which version of the program you have, you may have different options for logins. If you have the paid finance version, you have multiple options for job positions. The people that need to see financial paperwork will be automatically given more access than people who just need to be able to generate free reports. The president or an OC administrator is the default person who has the ability to create and change logins. The outgoing person needs to set up a login for the new president before they leave. The incoming president will then give access to the other board members that need it after the new term starts. It is a good practice to put into your standing rules or bylaws which positions should have which access. Example, if your board has a volunteer coordinator who is in charge of rosters, maybe you want them to be an OC administrator so they can upload rosters rather than it falling on the president. If the outgoing president did not assign a login to the new president, you will need to contact the next level up president in order to fix it. Unit PTAs should contact their council. If you are not in council, you should contact your district. If the district is unable to help you, they will contact the state PTA and they will fix it for them. PTA does not allow you to have the same email login for multiple units. If you were the president at your elementary school and then became president of the middle school, you will not be allowed to use the same email. You obviously don't want to make the person have to make up multiple emails, so this is a simple workaround. For the username or email, create a fake email address that is unique to the PTA. PTAEZ doesn't check to see if it's a legitimate address or not. The easiest system is to use the person's first initial and last name at theptasname.com. You should assign them an easy to remember generic password that they will then reset. If you give everyone the same generic first password, you don't have to remember what you assigned them. To change the generic password, the person will log in with what you assigned them, then go to the Home tab and change their profile. On that tab, they can give themselves a new password. Remind the person to write down their info somewhere. PTAEZ is very easy to get locked out of after very few failed login attempts. It's very important that you don't use the fake email on the roster portion of the person's login. That one should include their real one so that they get email from you or from state. The new version of the Create Change screen has additional functions that it did not used to have. You have a wider range of officers to choose from depending on whether you are using the paid version or the free version. You can also give people access to specific documents within their assigned roles. Not everybody needs to see every single kind of document that you can store in PTAEZ. To generate a roster or a bulk email list, they'll click on the Generate Report tab down at the bottom. From here, you can filter out the information you need. The default report is a PDF. You may switch it to Excel or HTML if that's easier for you. After you've chosen the format, click Report. Depending on your computer, it may ask you to open or save the report. If you need help giving someone login privileges, you should contact your council or district president first. If they can't get it to assign a password, then you should contact leadership at CAPTA.org and somebody from the Leadership Commission will attempt to set it for you. Please remember that the president's contact info, at a minimum, needs to be input by May 1st under normal circumstances. Thank you for listening and have a great night.